What is going on, you guys? Bashtian here. I'm back with my boy Fluffle God Ford. What's going on, Ford?
We're not Fluffle God today, we Drytron God.
Drytron God today. My man got second place at our most recent locals with the Drytrons. This deck is still not dead compared to a popular belief. What you think, Ford? Why you think this deck is so good right now?
I just think that you just have like a lot of options. It plays around a lot of cards, especially if you open up 2 Drytrons. If you have 3 Drytrons, you can play around a lot of shit. And on top of that, it could build really good boards. It does have a little bit of a bricking problem, but if you don't brick, you do pretty damn well. So.
Facts.
Yeah, plus, I feel like this whole deck is searchable with one way or another. You know, with the spell cards, searching ritual monsters, you can search out your Drytron cards. It feels like you can pretty much just grab whatever you need, and I feel like a deck that can do that is a deck that can succeed.
Facts.
So first off, I play the I obviously Drytron package. You have to play this prismatic rare because it's cheap, and why not? Alpha, 3 Delta, 3 Gamma, 3 of all. Just for obviously gas, this deck has a bricking problem, like I said. You need to at least open up 2 to get started, an alpha to really get your plays going. Because if you go for move beta fast from there, the XZs, a lot of people can they actually hit it almost immediately. So hopefully you can open up at least 2. If you don't, then you're gonna struggle, unfortunately. So yeah, that's the Drytron cards. Onto the and this is the last Drytron monster I play. Really good board clearer, and it helps you win these games, and no one really ever sees it coming.
The other one's not good. I know they got 2 big rituals,
yeah,
right?
This one can be targeted by monster effects. The other one can destroy all spells and traps on the field. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, understandable.
Next up, these are the Ben 10 searches, I guess. So going for each one of these, you can obviously go for a different play. If you decide to search out Diviner, again, which I play at 1, I don't play it at 2 anymore because one of the problems. And again, when you search for Ben 10, you're going for either option, and opening up more than one of this is just awful. So I figured it's searchable, so just play it at 1, and consistency-wise, it really helps. So if you go for this, searches through Ben 10, you're gonna go for the Synchro, what was that thing called, the Floor or something like that. If you go for this, you go for Abyss Dweller. And if you go for this, you just block your opponent out from special summoning. As good as this card is, you don't just want to go into it unless you can build other cards, other negates around it. Then you shouldn't just rely on this card. But I love this deck because you have options. Dweller for those players that need the graveyard. This card for additional pressure, and this guy just to stop your opponent from playing.
All right. So you never thought that maybe a second Diviner comes up in the grind game, things like that, or you just turn 1 wins with this?
It's not really worth it. I feel like if you go for 1 Diviner, it's just too bricky. It's too situational. It's a card you don't really want to top deck too often. So yeah, no, at 1 is completely fine.
All right, Diviner sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the old builds, give me back my fucking cards. Bring back Eva. If you bring back Eva, I'll play that shit at 3. I promise you.
Okay, don't bring back Eva. Let's chill the fuck out.
Hand traps, I decided to go with 3 Droll and 3 Nib. I just feel like they're very high impact cards. And they win me a lot. I might take out Droll because this does nothing against DDDs. And honestly, it hasn't really been putting a lot of work at locals last night. I admit this card didn't really do as much as I expected it to, but Nib definitely did. I resolved Nib twice, and every time you can get Nib to resolve, rather if they play around it or not. But if you can't activate it, it's devastating every single time. So I decide to play it, take that risk. If my opponent decides to play around it, oh well. But I feel like it's just too good to not play.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of players recently are starting to take Nib out the main deck entirely. That must cut a lot of people off guard when you just whipped it out on them.
Yeah, exactly. Resolve Nib, and you just if you look at the face, they try to act all confident and shit, oh, that's fine. But inside they're screaming. I love that.
That's me every time we play.
And last hand trap I play is the 1 Herald, because you can't open up a fairy, and if you go resolving Ben 10 a lot, you can search this card, and that's just an extra negate you have, extra pressure. Going on to the Ritual Monsters, the Cyber Angel package, Ben 10, Natasha, and Ida 10. Ida 10 for combo extensions. This card's not really that important, I admit, but these two are the MVPs. During the late game, if we're going like grinding like crazy, I would just summon out Natasha sometimes, because this card's effect, it says it can negate all attacks that if you're attacking a Ritual Monster. Sometimes I'll just actually just sit on this, and your opponent tries to attack, you just negate every single attack because it's not a once per turn. None of these are once per turn, which is what I love about Cyber Angels. This card, when it's summoned, you get to add a ritual spell, so you can actually keep summoning it repeatedly and keep getting the ritual spell back. And Ben 10's Ben 10. Ben 10 should be some people say it should be banned, I don't know. Megalith package, I love this package so goddamn much. 2 Fool, 1 Ophiel, 1 Thor. Fool, obviously such a good card, recycles Ben 10 and then resolves Ben 10 again using Ritual Summon from the deck. But for Ophiel will add another one to your hand, and then the Ben 10 will add another fairy, and Thor will just blow up the board because you're constantly loading your graveyard up with Ritual Monsters. So again, in the combo, if you decide to go for Manju earlier, like I talked about, this and Manju will make Abyss Dweller. If you go for a Diviner in this will go into the floor because Diviner is a level 6, this is a level 4. And then if you could just go for Vanny's Emptiness, Vanny's Fiend if you want. So
nice.
Yeah, I love the fact, I love it when decks give me options, and the Megalith package gives you options. Onto the spell cards. Obviously, 3 of this guy. I decided to go for 2 and then 1. I think this is just the perfect ratio. This card, it sucks if you draw another one, but it's just too good that I want to try to open it up, so I decided to play that too. 3 is way too much, I think. And obviously the 1 of this because we have Recursion. I do miss playing 2 sometimes because I am a bad player and I do make mistakes. But you know, I decided to go optimal, and it did work last tournament. So yeah, play that one. Don't be bad. Don't be scared like me.
Don't get DD crowed.
Next, 3 Cyber Emergency. Obviously, search out any of the Drytron cards. 2 pre-prep, just to search out Ben 10. That's all this card is. Also, why it's good to play the ritual spell at 1, because if the ritual spell is in the graveyard, and then you activate this card to search out any level 7 or lower ritual monsters, so the Megalith package, the Cyber Angel cards as well. You can also get that ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand, so it has that additional recursion effect, and of course, it's not a once per turn as well. And last, just so I can play through hand traps, I decided to play 3 Triple Tactics Talent.
Nice.
It has come in clutch many times, and I've won games many times where 2 of my Drytrons will be negated, activate this card, and I draw 2 more cards, and then I can actually keep playing. This card actually helped me out so much. There was a time I was thinking about cutting it at 2 because opening up more than 1 is pretty bad. But after thinking about it, I think it's kind of worth playing at 3, just so you can see it, because again, Drytrons, they do have an inherent bricking problem. So that is it for the main deck. I believe that's 44 cards. I haven't counted in a long time. I'm just not gonna lie. It works. It's the right amount of cards.
That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. Extra deck, Mu Beta, 2 of them. I did decide to play the Lyrilusk. Just because, you know, if like again late game type of stuff, I can summon this card, put a lot of pressure. If your opponent special summons, you can detach, bounce it back to your opponent's hand. So I do like to make it late game, or if I'm just winning like fucking crazy, if I'm just going off, and I don't have to make another card, but if I can, I'll go for this thing. I played the Zeus. I just pulled this last night.
What is this? What's the rarity on this for?
It's that ultimate rare. Bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. I just pulled it, and now I have money. Now I don't look at it no more. And 1 Abyss Dweller, because I already explained that it's just so good, and you can go for it if you like. Late monsters, I think these are pretty generic. I don't have to explain this card, this card, this card, and this card. I actually resolved these 2. I played one of the decks I played against was a barrier statue stun. And I kid you not, man.
In 2022.
In 2022, yes, and I actually got rid of it, but it was so late in the game that I actually went for these 2 cards and actually resolved the drawing effect. So fuck yeah.
Style points.
IP Masquerena and Relinquish, because this does come up sometimes. It's pretty good. And Link Karibo. Link Karibo is the MVP of the deck. This deck cannot exist without Link Karibo, and everybody knows that's a fact. You can deny it all you want. Baron. I know this card is somewhat expensive, and I like playing budget, but I realized this deck, it's gotten hit so much, thinking it's the best deck. It's kind of being in denial. I feel like you need expensive cards. So yeah, Diviner can make this, put that extra pressure on the board, and yeah. Unfortunately, we have to play it. And Diviner targets, obviously this card, sent to the graveyard, can search for a ritual monster or ritual spell, and this guy, he destroys a card on the field. So they're both level 4, so Diviner making level 6. I guess I'll go into the side. Side came in so fucking clutch. I'm a bad Yu-Gi-Oh player, right? So I'm not good at side decks, but side decks, this actually helped me win a lot. So I decided to play 3 Bell, because everything uses graveyard effects. As this guy. Pretty brain dead cards, if I see an opportunity, I negate with Bell. At the start of my turn, I'll just use Lance, and Lance is searchable, so that's why I play that one on the side. 3 Dark Ruler no more, pretty brain dead again. I don't have to think of too much, which is good for a player like me. Just negate the whole board.
Hey, slap the shit out of me with that card.
And facts. Emperor, again, it goes into the same mentality as if I'm going second, just negate a card on the field. I'm good. If I'm going first, I'll still slide this in, set that bitch, you have an extra negation. There you go. MVP, I beat a Sword Soul player because I managed to slow him down. Dimensional barrier called Synchro. He couldn't play anymore. And then double because this guy. So he's playing Sword Soul, and I activated evenly matched. Right, he made his board. He banished the evenly matched. So he had to banish his entire board. He couldn't keep a card because I no longer control the card. Rest in peace to that guy. He needs to go home and think about what he did.
Wow.
and then that's the deck. I really do like this deck. I think the deck still has potential. It's more of a toolbox deck than just summon ultimateness and win. I really do like this deck. I like playing around stuff. I like figuring it out. And this build is very consistent. As consistent as it's gonna get. So yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. I know you've been playing this and Fluffle back and forth for a few months now. You looking at potentially sticking this out, or
Look, man, when I consistently do well with Fluffles, I'll bring it back. I'm always testing out Fluffles. It's like my favorite deck. But like, come on, man, we need good cards.
What are you gonna do when Patchwork gets banned?
Quit Yu-Gi-Oh. Patrick gets hit, I quit. I might not even be playing Fluffles. I'm throwing every deck I've ever owned in the trash can. So.
Is it because of the curse?
Yes. Every deck I've ever played that was bad at some point, and I played it just for fun, got banned. Lurlust got hit a few times. Spiral.
Lunalight.
What did I say, Lurlust?
Yeah,
Lunalight. It's just like I can't play decks, so I swear to God, if this curse happens again, I'm done. Konami is after me. I said something, and they're after me. But yeah.
But even then, you'll still have Drytron.
Look, man, Drytron got hit as well, so another hit's coming. If they win one more big thing, this card's getting banned. I'm calling it.
Alright, well, thank you much for coming on the channel. You have any last minute advice for anyone looking to pick up Drytron, seeing it has had a few success here and there?
Play better.
Alright, cool.
Be good.
Cool. Wise words from a wise man. Thank you so much for being on the channel. Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you want more, and I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one.